There's some spicy drama surrounding Linus Tech Tips at the minute, and I thought I would be a lore master and go into pretty much all the details because honestly, so far it is like trying to decipher an actual Elder Scroll because it is so hard to even understand where this drama came from. But before we jump into that, I do want to make a quick announcement. I'm going to be at the UK Insomnia gaming event in Birmingham between the 8th and 10th of September. You can come and say hi. We've got some exclusive merch only being sold there. And also, because I'm feeling generous, we're going to do a giveaway. If you click the link down in the description to enter the giveaway, you've got a chance of winning a pair of free weekend tickets to Insomnia. And also, because I'm generous, like I said earlier, you get a free cap off the new merch collection that you can't get anywhere else. So, yeah. Enjoy. Now, Linus Tech Tips is a YouTuber that has been on the platform for a long time. I think he made his channel all the way back in 2008. This guy is a veteran. Before that, he worked on a channel called NCIX. They did like tech reviews, basically what he does now, but he didn't own it. So he left that and started his own channel, Linus Tech Tips. And if you look at the NCIX channel right now, it is completely dead. There has not been a single upload in over 5 years. And then going on their Twitter to see if I could find anything else, they've got a... The last thing they posted is a literal top text, bottom text meme. Now, Linus is in some hot water, or more his group, the Linus Media Group. And this is basically stemmed from two different sources of drama. So the first one is a bunch of ex-workers coming out saying how terrible the working conditions were while working under the Linus Media Group. One person came out on Twitter about them called Madison, and looking through the tweets, it is pretty much the entire B-movie script with the amount of words. So apparently she was under contract to post 3 tweets a day, 2 Instagram posts, and 2 TikToks minimum. And apparently as well, she was expected to plan, film, and edit videos on top of that. She goes on to say that Linus now has a whole team that kind of do all of that. It's not just one person, but she go on to say as well that management and the higher-ups were always belittling her, saying that she was incompetent and the work was just dog shit. Now, there's no screen caps, screenshots, or leaked DMs to kind of show that any of this actually transpired. But again, on Twitter, you really don't need that. They'll just come for your head either way. Now, at one point, she does actually mention that she was assaulted. After I came forward about being assaulted, someone accused Linus of inappropriate conduct on Twitter. He came over to my corner and started berating her, calling her insane, mentally ill, an attention seeker, and just digging into this poor woman who had felt wronged by him. And also, apparently it's came out that the Linus Media Group, there's a lot of paranoia that people will basically leave Linus after they've built up their own following and their own kind of street cred, and then start basically what he's done. He started with a YouTube group, he left, he started his own empire, and he's kind of worried that other people are going to leave and do the same thing. Now, remember when I said Twitter needs absolutely no proof before they pass judgment? That goes both ways. So a lot of people actually read this employee coming out saying, oh my God, how hard is your life that you have to post 3 tweets a day? Jesus Christ. And you can see on the quote tweets here, people just like mocking her and belittling her, you know, fixating on the fact that she said that she had to tweet 3 times a day. I mean, not including the Instagram posts that probably have to be edited and the TikToks as well. I just like how Twitter does that thing where they just hyperfixate on one specific detail and act like that is the only point that has ever been made. So that is pretty much the first allegation out of the way. But like I said, they got hit with a double whammy. It's like in zombies, you know, when the zombie comes up to you and he does both of the arms like that and he just one taps you and downs you. That is pretty much what is happening with Linus right now, because now the gamers Nexus has came out about them over accuracy and ethical concerns. They basically went on to criticize the Linus YouTube channel, saying that because they have to pump out videos so quickly and so efficiently, because again, it is a business, that their accuracy is absolutely horrendous. They get so many details wrong when talking about specifics on technology. If anything, this kind of reminds me of old YouTube. I sound like such a boomer talking about this. You might have been on an era of YouTube where we still had video annotations. There were these like little boxes that would appear, and basically you could write any kind of text in them that would come up on the screen. People would usually do this to add some kind of speech bubble, some text, but also to correct mistakes that they made. Now, annotations, because they just looked completely god awful, like those video replay girls, it was completely phased out. You can't do that anymore. The closest you can really do is blurring stuff out in the YouTube studio and also adding subtitles. But annotations, they might have actually benefited Linus Tech Tips channel here. Now, one thing I do want to point out, the video calling out Linus, it got 4.2 million views in 4 days, which is just incredible. When I uploaded my Cruelty Squad video on the main channel, that got around 5 million views in a month, which, you know, when I uploaded my Cruelty Squad video for comparison, that video did a 1 out of 10 in the YouTube studio. I think after a month, it got 5.5 million views, which is great. But 4 million views in 4 days is absolutely incredible. I think my video got like 2 million views in 2 days, and then it started to half, and it had a bit of a half-life. It was like 500,000 views a day, then 200,000. It just kind of tapered off from there. But this video has no intention of slowing down. It is crazy.
A few days ago, this clip from an LTT lab tour got a lot of attention online.
The difference between us and somebody like Gamers Nexus or Hardware...
Also, I really hate to admit it, I thought that guy was Andrew Tate. I genuinely thought, on God, that was Andrew Tate. He's just a bit more paler.
Box is we test new components, new tests every time.
And then Hardware Unboxed tweeted dissatisfaction with the statement made in that tour. We didn't say anything at all, anywhere. Even though it's not actually true, they don't collect new data and new tests every single time, and it's not always necessary anyway. So when Linus went on...
So basically, their main criticism is, like I said, they're pumping out so much content that they're not actually taking time to fact check their stuff. I mean, loads of YouTubers are guilty of this. I'm probably guilty of it. On the Daily Slop channel, I'm pretty sure there is stuff that I have gotten wrong. And there's been other YouTubers to correct this. Like, for example, Ludwig came out, I think a couple months ago, saying that he got a lot of his videos wrong. And he actually has editors go over the videos and do this kind of like fact sheet to see how correct he's being. If he's got to make any corrections, then the editors can do that for him and point it out. Another thing that Gamers Nexus pointed out, which what I mentioned earlier, talking about the video annotations that were like phased out. Basically, what Linus's group would do when they got called out for an error, instead of re-recording the segment or kind of deleting the video or editing it in some way, they just add like a disclaimer in the description, kind of like a, you got me, If anything, this reminds me of a situation that happened a long time ago. We are going back into the annals of history right here. There's once a YouTuber called Ouija the God. I've never interacted with him personally, but he seems like an alright dude, you know, completely chill. I've got no beef with him, but he actually copied another YouTuber's video talking about a Blue Yeti mic. He copied it pretty much one-to-one. Like, you can play the videos side by side. H-Bomber did an entire video breaking it down and basically calling the guy out, and all Ouija did was add a little disclaimer at the bottom of the description saying, I was inspired. Now, Linus isn't plagiarizing. That isn't the accusation, but obviously when you get called out for something and then just adding a little disclaimer afterwards in the description, purposely hidden from the general masses, it isn't really ever a good look. And the thing is as well, some of the corrections that Linus's group are making in the videos, they're actually embedded into the videos. It is text that will come up on screen. So they knew they made a mistake during the editing process, but instead of reshooting that segment, they just kept it in anyway. Another example that Gamers Nexus brings up as well is some of the kind of dishonest business practices, I guess. So let's say, for example, when you take on a sponsor or you collab with a brand, you're going to shill it, right? Like, you might not even use the product, but you're going to act like it's the best thing in the world. That's why so many YouTubers today, when they do a product, you'll usually get two kinds of ad reads. You'll get one where they just read the brief word to word, just they don't even care, they're just looking for the bag. And then you'll have the others that do this kind of like weird, semi-sarcastic, you know, coated in irony, because we know that we don't really care that much about the product, but we still need to promote it anyway to get the bag. Stuff that I do, internet historian, I hate everything. A lot of YouTubers do that now as kind of a coping mechanism. But one thing Linus did, the company, they collabed with Noctua. And what they did is created this like special color screwdriver. And what they've gone on to do afterwards is use Noctua's, you know, popular cooling options for computers. But what Gamers Nexus problem is because they're having a business relationship, that when they're genuinely going over and reviewing their products, they're looking over or more ignoring any kind of problems with it. Now, Linus did actually acknowledge the video and respond to it. He said he's not going to, you know, implement it into the show or anything like that. He just did a post on his subreddit. And he said overall that he was very disappointed with the video. He didn't go through proper journalistic practices. I mean, to be fair, have you seen internet journalism? It's basically on the same level as gaming journalism. He has my email and number and could have asked me for context that may have proven to be valuable. I can see where Linus is coming from, but at the same time, I do feel that if this guy reached out to Linus beforehand and actually asked, Linus would have probably tried to talk the guy down to get him to, you know, kind of scrap the video altogether. Now, Linus did actually agree to like some amount of sloppiness, I love that word, from the LMG team, saying that he's been doing a lot of work internally to clean up the process, but these things take time. Something Gabe Newell always says about Half-Life 3. But then after that, the Reddit post, as it usually is on Reddit, was torn to shreds. So he then had to go ahead and make, you know, an actual YouTube video. So I am not joking you when I say Linus Tech Tips has literally made my response to before I did. The video basically goes on to say that the Reddit post overall was lame. It caused a huge unnecessary blunder and basically asked more questions than it answered. Now, Terran Tong is the CEO of Linus. Linus doesn't actually own the company despite being, you know, it being named after him. And he basically doubled down and said that LMG will continue to improve in the future. The video itself, by the way, only talks about the Gamers Nexus video. It doesn't at all talk about Madison's allegations because I think those came out afterwards. But yeah, I'll be honest, I went through the response video and it is really weird because instead of seeing just a YouTuber get in front of a camera and talk, you just have loads of employees with a background and really nice lighting and a microphone that's directly above them that probably costs like tens of thousands. It's a really professional done video, and you know, that is their entire shtick. They're on a completely other level. But yeah, it's just weird to see. Monka scare.